I am very picky about when I go on Facebook or when I share information, and I don't often use it as an outlet for my personal life. But I do have a diverse group of people I'm connected with, especially on Facebook. I have friends from long ago when I was at a small church group in when I was in high school to now when I'm working in a more secular environment. I have friends from there. So there's a lot of different backgrounds in my Facebook connectedness. And I when I share on Facebook or when I post, I always take time to be intentional. It's not often that I do, but when I feel the urge to share what I've learned or share what's on my heart, I desire it to be a thought or a word or a deed that is a reflection of the Lord and a reflection of my heart. I always choose to guard my heart above all else, for from it everything flows. And it's interesting to note when I do post things of that nature, when I post the Lord's desire above my own, I get interesting responses. I get quite a few responses from people who are secular, who don't know the Lord in a deeper way. And it isn't always something in your face Christian, but rather simple words of kindness or compassion or respect or honor that reflect biblical principles that I have personally. And Wesh would say that I pay attention to the people who like or who comment or even share those things that I post. It's interesting to pay attention to those details because it shows who's really listening or who's asking questions or who takes the knowledge seriously. Questions should lead participants on a quest to dive deeper and encourage knowledge. You can get a feel for how engaged your audience is by the disruptions and distractions that are occurring, and how likely your audience will pay attention to the disruption over the presented knowledge. There are things that friends on Facebook could pay attention to above what I post, and it is really encouraging to know that they take the time to read and comment and share on my posts that reflect my heart above other things that may not be so Christ-centered. A learned leader asks the audience questions. An experienced leader receives questions from the audience, but a successful leader impacts an audience to turn questions into actions. An audience must be driven to be knowledge able, encouraged to seek answers, encouraged to connect with others, and to find answers to life's toughest questions. An audience should never be driven to misleadings or to opinions. An audience should be driven to create. There is a need for critical thinking, but first, a barrier needs to be established to filter and decipher the complications and the damages of the world of media. And to go beyond critical thinking, becoming a proactive member of media and sending a powerful voice to engage a public in a positive manner. Global movements and global impact can be ridiculously easy with the media today. And layer upon layer of creativity spurs audiences into action. These are all the words of Wesh as he expands on who we're reaching over social media. Knowledge, ability is a practice. meaning it is created. I can do my part to start a little change or initiate knowledge receivability through my reflections on who is impacted on social media and in my personal life. I should take seriously every action that I initiate with intentionality of sharing the message of the Lord and doing work as if I'm working for the Lord. I can create change and pass along meaning by sharing what God places on my heart, but by also being patient and receptive ear to not pushing my views on social media, not being stern or overbearing, but rather allowing time to work in the connections that I have on Facebook. According to Nonaka, speed and flexibility are essential in catching and holding an audience. In being fast, media must pertain to many cultures and generations and psychologies at one time, and therefore be organized and creative. In being flexible, media must have a built-in instability and overlapping developmental phases. Managing speed and flexibility in the market means developing a product based on creativity and innovation and multifaceted approaches. The built-in instability approach is essential for creators and developers seeking to develop new products quickly and flexibly. This approach resonates with me. It encapsulates shifting from a linear development to building off of trial and error and encouraging the challenges of the status quo. In a way, you can get more of a creative and unique and attractive result from opening up to the potential of instability. It stimulates new kinds of learning and thinking at different levels and functions of potential. Just as important, this strategy for product development or creating meaning or change can act as an agent of change for a larger effect. The energy and motivation the effort produces can spread throughout the bigger connections and begin to break down some of the rigidities that have set in over time. I have seen differences in people who pay attention to my posts, and when I listen to what the Lord is saying first, it makes a difference in how I post, how I share knowledge, and how other people receive knowledge. I do not post for myself, but rather to be a reflection of the Lord. And be it Christians or non-Christians, people always respond more to posts that come from the reflections of my heart and not when I seek attention on myself. When I post about things bigger than myself, others are encouraged by these posts and they're encouraged to comment and share the knowledge as a truth and not as my opinion.